Okay. So, um, thanks for who's watching. Thanks for joining. I'm Sachiko. I am a new intern at Sports Finder, and I'll be facilitating the discussion for today. And we recently just started our new Instagram takeover, and Maxie today, she's our first guest. And so, thank you guys for following along. And so, the Maxie, thank you for joining us.
Of
And
course.
people watching, feel free to ask questions or comment along the way. All right. So, I guess we first wanted to start off by asking, about your sports background and how you got to where you are today. And so, how old were you when you started synchro and what got you into the sport?
So I think I was 9 years old. I've been doing it for 14 years. I think this will be my 15th year actually. And I did dance for a really long time when I was little because my sister did dance, and then I like wasn't liking it anymore. And my parents always told me when I was like a baby, they would take me in the water, and I just loved it. And then my best friend started synchro at the Y by our house, and then my sister's best friend started it, and they were like, "Oh, she might like this." And then I tried it, and I stayed with it ever since.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did dance before too, and that kind of, led me into synchro too.
Yeah.
But so I guess tell me more about what it was like growing up with synchro and like, having that become a big part of your life.
It definitely is a sport that's a commitment. I mean, you did it too. Um, but yeah, it's you start at like a really low level. You practice like maybe once a week, and then you work your way up to like 5, 6 times a week. And then in college, you swam 5 days a week. But yeah,
It's very, it's one of the most committing sports probably.
yeah.
But yeah, so what college did you attend and what made you like choose that college and what made you want to swim for them?
I went to Wheaton College, that's in Massachusetts, and I knew I wanted to do synchro in college, and I knew I wanted to do it at a Division 1 school, and there were only at the time 4 Division 1 options, or I think at the time there might have been five. But so I kind of had to narrow down my options, and then I was deciding between two schools, Wheaton and another school, and then I realized that I had to look at the bigger picture, and I had to look at academics too. When
Mm.
I'm a physical therapy aide now. I wanted to do physical therapy then, so I had to decide which school I wanted to go to for not only synchro, where I can swim D1, and where I can pursue academics. And going to a smaller school, I knew I learned better in that environment and I would excel in academics there. So that was one of the big reasons. Also, I went on a recruiting visit and um, met my coach, Coach Rebecca, and I knew then I wanted her to coach me because I knew she could make me even better. And having that in academics, I wanted to go.
That's awesome. And like doing synchro at Wheaton, what's like one thing you loved about doing synchro there?
I don't know. There are so many. Doing synchro, oh, doing like a varsity sport in general, just meeting all of the other athletes and seeing. I mean, I didn't know what like other athletes like what their sports were about or what they got to put in, and I met some of my best friends in athletics. So that was
Mm,
really cool, and then some of my best friends on the team. And then also Wheaton, their team is small, but I really liked that because you just got so much closer with everybody on the team, and there were like up to 8 of us, and like we're just like such a like small group that we're so close. So I really liked that.
yeah, I understand what you're saying because my school was also super small, so like my swim team, we got every year, even though they're new people, we got to like get to know each other even better and like
Yeah.
definitely one of my closest friends, you know, they're from the swim team. So, um, yeah, just a few more questions. Do you have any like athletes that you look up to, whether it's in synchro or just sports in general?
Mm, I would say Simone Biles because she like is an amazing gymnast. But then I've also seen like interviews of her done and about how like her best friends will be like she like works really really hard when she's in the gym, but then outside of the gym like she's just like fun and like living her life, and she she works hard, but I don't know, she's also like a really good person, and she's not like cocky about how hard she works. Like she deserves everything she
Mm,
gets, and
yeah,
so I
yeah.
really admire that because she's like the best in the world, but she works hard to get to that point. She's not naturally
Mm-hmm.
talented.
Yeah, I agree. She's definitely a big role model in the sports world. She's very inspiring for being at such a young age.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, regardless of sports, like who are your role models in your life?
Um, that's a good question. Oh, I don't know. My role models. Um,
It's okay if you can't really think
I
of
don't
any.
know. A lot of people. I definitely feel like everyone that's in my life I look up to, like family, friends, like people that like coaches I've had, everyone I can take something from them and learn from them, and that I'll always remember and take it with me throughout life. And I think a part of them, like definitely I take parts of like my identity from them because they've taught me so much. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's many people in my life that have like impacted me and that I look up to.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so we know that, you already graduated from Wheaton, but do you have any plans of like continuing synchro past this time? If so, like, do you have any goals in mind?
So right now I graduated in May, and then I'm now training to try out for the US national team in April. So I'm working as a PT aide for this year and continue training for the next year, and then I'll try it in April, and then eventually I want to go to PT school. So I'll see in April what happens. If I make it, then see when I can apply and go. But yeah, so for the next year, I'm just working and continue training.
That's so cool. So you're training for April and then you're kind of like, it's gonna be whatever happens then will determine if you like continue with it or
Yeah,
you
exactly. So
grad
my
school.
plan right now is to train. So I'll have like one goal, one meet, I guess, to train for, and that's in April. And then I'll train for that. And if I make it, then I obviously want to do it. So I'll continue training. And then if I don't make it, then I'll continue I'll switch and think about my career,
Mm.
and then go into PT school. So
That's so exciting. We
thank,
wish you the best of
thank you.
luck. Um, and so, thank you for sharing all of that. It's super wonderful to hear, your experience doing synchro and things like that. But, we want to switch gears a little and talk a little bit about name, image, and likeness.
Mhm.
I'm not sure, if you've had any like direct, uh, like if you were able to like talk about it with your team or anything like that. But since that's a very big topic that's been um, up in the air in NCAA and in like the sports world, I thought it would be pretty important to talk about it. And so I guess what do you know about name, image, and likeness? I mean, if you learned about it, like how did you learn about it?
Yeah, so I didn't really think too much about it, but then when I went to college, every year we would have like eat all the athletic trainers and like sports people at school would have meetings with each team, and they would discuss like everything from being like NCAA athletes, we have to follow certain rules. So they would kind of discuss that, like you can't get paid for what you're doing for
Mm,
your sport. You can't, make like merch or anything, get paid. Like basically, you can't do anything to that you would get paid off of your sport, kind of.
right, right. Yeah. Oh, that's good then, that um your team has like, been getting exposure to the topic of it every year.
Yeah.
So because I feel like many colleges don't do that to start with, and
Yeah,
so
we had to like sign the papers saying like we understood this information.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's pretty like formal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like so for people who are watching and like, want to know more about name, image, and likeness, it's basically, in simple terms, like a concept where student athletes can benefit from monetizing, their name or their image. And like, some ways include, as Maxie said, selling merch and gear, um, personal promotions like autographs and meet and greet sessions, also like third party endorsements, such as promoting products or like, doing ads on TV and radio. Um, and also it includes, selling your own personal work that's like not involved in sports, like, digital content, YouTube, art, music, and things like that. Um, and so in your opinion, how much do you think, if, name, image, and likeness is gonna become, like a super big deal and like, student athletes will be able to monetize their name, image, and likeness, how much do you think it'll impact them as a whole?
I think it'll impact athletes a lot. I don't know if the NCAA would ever do it, but I think it definitely would help. Obviously, like D1 athletes can get scholarships, but that money is more like to pay for school, which, yeah, that's very helpful because school's expensive. So they
Mm,
are getting paid for their sport, I guess. But at the same time, uh, like there are some athletes that train in college that want to go professional, and if they can never get their name out there and
right.
do stuff like that to promote themselves in college, maybe some people don't like aren't thinking about having like a straight career path right now, and they just want to continue doing their sport and they want to try to go pro. It's kind of hard for them, like a like marine biology degree. You're go get have that degree to be a marine biologist, but if you want to your profession, you want to be a professional athlete, then there's no like yes, your degree can help, but they're not going to hire you for your degree if you're a professional athlete. They're going to hire you for your sport.
Hmm.
So,
Right. Yeah. And it's also um like also like the other way around too, like, if there are many like, college athletes who like don't plan on going pro too. And so like if they have that advantage as a college athlete, where they can make money there, like, without worrying about, um getting through college or
exactly.
um
They
things
want to
like
do their
that.
sport in college, but it's so hard for some people because it's like A, such a big time commitment, and B, it's very expensive. So,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and so I completely agree with you that it'll impact a lot of student athletes, especially, those that are already pretty, well known in their sport,
yeah.
um, and like go to like big schools. But yes, and yeah, so overall, you know, it seems like you completely support NIL. Kind of sad, that and that NCAA and is like and we're all just having a hard time trying to, make it happen. I
Yeah.
mean, it's understandable. There's pros and cons to both sides,
Yeah. I
but
can definitely see like the pros and cons. Like, I can see how it's a bet. Like, it wouldn't be the best idea either because it's not fair to everyone.
mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah,
can definitely see like the cons to it too. But overall, I think definitely, especially like Division 1 athletes. I can definitely help them, but then I can also say that's bad because they like maybe Division 3 athletes wouldn't get the same opportunity as Division 1.
Right, right. Yeah. So it makes a lot of sense in both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know who's watching, but like, does anyone have questions? It says like, a lot of people joined, but like,
I think it says that and then they can leave, but we don't
uh,
leave.
I see. Okay. Well, if no one has questions. I mean, yeah. Sorry, this is, our first time trying it out. Thanks for cooperating, Maxie. And yeah, thank you for joining our live session today. I hoped whoever was watching at the moment, enjoyed what you had to say and share about your experience. I don't know, is there anything you want to say or ask?
Um, in your opinion, do you think the NCAA will like make a change and so that athletes can monetize their names?
So like currently states, like individual states, are like, starting to make changes on their own,
Mm-hmm.
without, complying to NCAA rules. For example, California, Florida, and I think one other state have been pretty open about, them uh, proposing new rules for student athletes so they can monetize their name. Um, and like, following them, a bunch of other states have started to, think about it and start to propose new policies and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, even I have a feeling that, within the next few years that like it might be, pretty possible that it's
That's
gonna
good.
happen. Um, regardless of because like I think with those different states starting to speak up, NCAA has started to also loosen up their like strict rules a little bit
Mm-hmm.
slowly. And so like before they were like super strict, like no students can, make money off of their name, especially if it has anything to do with their sport. And now I think they've been making like pretty there's small changes, but like a little bit of progress in
Mm-hmm.
terms of allowing students to make money. And so I think as more and more states, you know, change policies and like show support for like the student athletes, then probably within the next few years it might happen.
That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of exciting. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah. Uh, anything else? Are you good?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
We are excited to see the rest of your day.
Well, thanks for practice, so stay tuned.
All right. Thank
Bye.
you everyone for watching.
Thank
Bye.
you.